Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Come on in. Come on in. We are getting ready to celebrate and kick off Second Chance Month. I am so excited about this. I know a lot of people are celebrating Reentry Week, which is the very last week of this month of April. However, us here at MS Reentry, we will be celebrating the entire month of April. We have some great things that are planned for this month. Before I introduce our special guest here, I just want to kind of give you a quick update. If you've been watching us, we have several events that will be going on this month. We have of course, the kickoff today. We have the poetry night that will be happening this Saturday. We have some live discussions with some formerly incarcerated individuals. We'll have a mixer with myself and other members of the MS Reentry team. We just have a lot of things that are going on. We'll be giving away some cool prizes, so stay connected with us so that you will be able to be engaged in what we're getting ready to do. So I want to present to you guys Mr. Greg Fuller. He is with the Prison Fellowship organization. He's going to tell you all about what they do, who they are, why did they name April a Second Chance Month, and why Second Chance is so important. Mr. Fuller.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share about Prison Fellowship. So again, my name is Greg Fuller. I am the church mobilization specialist for Prison Fellowship. I cover the Southeast territories, and my role is to engage churches in various aspects of our ministries and to see what's the best fit for them. So we have a lot of different ministries that churches and individuals can get involved in. I've been with Prison Fellowship now for 3 years and now live in South Carolina. I just moved from Washington State, where I oversaw Washington, Alaska, and I was moreover the programming in the prisons. So I'm very familiar with the programming that Prison Fellowship does inside the prisons, working with the men and women. So I just want to start off just a little bit. Some of you probably have heard about Prison Fellowship and give you a little bit overview of who we are, what we do. We have a lot of different ministries and go into Second Chance Month. So to begin with, we've been around for a while, 40 years. We were founded in 1976 by Chuck Colson. And you may have heard of him. He went to prison because of Watergate and had an encounter with God. And out of that experience of him going to prison, birthed Prison Fellowship. And so we've been going strong ever since then. So Prison Fellowship, we are the largest Christian nonprofit serving prisoners, so both men and women, and former prisoners and their families. We believe that every person is made in the image of God, and that in everything we do is the forefront of how we do our ministry. Actually, so our vision is to see all affected by crime and incarceration reconciled to God, their families, and their communities. And that is one of my favorite parts about Prison Fellowship, because we seek, yes, we do go into the prisons, but to us, what's equally important are the families on the outside. And so we believe that no life is beyond reach, and that Prison Fellowship exists to serve, all of those, impacted and the communities on the outside. So I would, of all the things we do, I think of three main categories of our ministries. One is transforming the lives of prisoners. And so, we go in and work with the men and women with our programming and with our staff. And we could not survive, without the volunteers that go in that make this possible. We have all across the nation in every state in the U.S. We have programming. We go into prisons and we share the gospel. We share hope to these incarcerated men and women. And one of our flagship programs is called the Academy. It's a 12-month program that the men and women will commit to and work with them, the same men and women through that whole 12 months. So you really get to know them well, know their story, and to help them become better men and women, and to make the changes they need to make. The second is that we care for children and families. Now, most people, when they hear about Prison Fellowship, we're probably most known for our Angel Tree program. And I work a lot with our Angel Tree churches, and with Angel Tree during Christmas time, we connect with churches who will then provide Christmas gifts to kids who have incarcerated moms and dads. And we have a tagline: is it begins with a gift, because our hope is that it doesn't stop with that gift, that the church will continue to minister to them year round. And we have opportunities. We have Angel Tree camping, which is actually coming up, and making lots of calls and connecting, making sure that our families know about Angel Tree camping and Angel Tree sports, where kids can go and be in an environment. Many of these kids don't have the opportunity because of financial means to participate in sports, and this is a way where they can engage in a week-long sports camp. And many times we'll bring in professional athletes, collegiate athletes, to also help mentor and to encourage these young men and women. And also, so the last thing that we focus on is we advocate for justice that restores. And if you've heard of the Second Chance Act that was pushed out, I believe, about 2 years ago, and Prison Fellowship had a heavy hand in that. So with our restorative justice, so we advocate for a more restorative approach to justice that advocates proportional punishment, constructive correction culture, and second chances. So, going into Second Chance Month, which is the month of April, that has been designated Second Chance Month. And this is actually our 5th year celebrating Second Chance Month. And this annual observance was created by Prison Fellowship in 2017 to raise awareness of the barriers of returning citizens that they face. I've had many, as I worked, personally with men and women, they share about how coming on the outside it's like a second prison, because there's so many rules that's put upon them, and things that struggles they still face, even though they've done their time. They have repented of the crime they've committed, and they are hunger and eager to join society, be a productive members, a productive citizen, and contribute to society. And they have a lot of barriers that are up, and these people are in our churches. Many people who have loved ones that are either doing time or have served time. 1 in 3 Americans has some sort of criminal background, and so people are silently suffering through a lot of these things. And I believe because of its of an embarrassment, of shame, that many people don't share about the struggles, and many times they're silently suffering, even in our churches. And so we believe, what Second Chance Month is about is creating that awareness, creating that that awareness of what people go through, and how we can help lift them up as they get out of prison, and make sure that they have a great second chance on the outside. And maybe I'll stop there and see if there's any questions or anything else that you would like me to add.
No, there aren't any questions, but I'm familiar with Prison Fellowship. We've been connected with them ever since 2018. So we've been doing a lot with the Angel Tree program. Actually, this year we will be expanding our Angel Tree program to other counties here in the state of Mississippi. We used to just only cover like 4 counties, so I'm adding 2 more counties for a total of 6 counties. But just to see the faces of the children light up when we provide them with the gift from their loved one that's currently incarcerated, it's just so heartbreaking. I just love every minute of it. But yeah, so I'm excited. I actually got the email about the Second Chance gala
Right?
this month. So I usually try to attend that. I wish like heck it wasn't virtual, but just to keep everybody safe, it has to be virtual. So but I commend y'all for everything that you guys are doing. You mentioned that correct my mind again, the founder was incarcerated
That's
before.
right.
That's correct?
That's right. Chuck
Okay.
Colson.
Is
That's
he
right.
still involved with the organization?
He's passed. He passed away several years ago. Yeah, Chuck Colson was the right hand man to Richard Nixon, and as he got caught up in the Watergate scandal, went to
Mhm.
prison. So being the second to the most powerful man in the world, and then going to prison. So that'll humble you, and that's where he encountered um, uh, actually Christ right before he entered prison, and so but yeah he's passed away, and but he still has a lot of great books that are out there, and speeches and things like that you can access on YouTube.
Awesome, awesome. Now, do you guys, I know you guys go into the prisons. So can you tell me a little bit about that? I know I've conversed with a couple of people who have represented Prison Fellowship in some of our prisons here in Mississippi. Can you tell me a little bit about what exactly do you guys do when you go in there?
Sure. Our academy program, and I don't know specifically, what's happening in Mississippi. Well, I would say um, COVID has kicked all of us out of prison. I think that's
Yeah.
beginning to lighten up on some of the states where we can go into the prisons. Now, Prison Fellowship, we predominantly most of our ministry, as far as the inside, takes place in prisons and not jails. Not that we don't think that is important. It how you minister in a prison environment and a jail environment is very different. And
Yeah.
so our academy program, well, how we have volunteers when we come in and lead, it is a lot. What we try to say is, teach our volunteers is that it's a lot of listening. So we lead the material and we speak and share 20% of the time, and allow the inmates to open up and talk 80% of the time. And so all of our curriculum is got scripture all in it, and we have a partnership with Celebrate Recovery, so we're dealing with addiction issues, relationship issues, the nuts and bolts of how to be just a successful person, how to when they get on the outside, how to get it, not just get a job, but how to keep a job. We have material that's similar to like kind of Dave Ramsey, how to manage your finances. We have a lot of those type of things, and of course we all through that we're focusing on their spiritual walk, on their walk with Christ, and all those aspects. But we have our volunteers, as they work with the inmates and lead the material and lead the class, that it's less teacher format. It really is us engaging, asking deep questions and it's forcing them to talk through and walk out what that looks like and the changes they need to make, and it's really amazing how close you can get with the inmates, and just to see the lives change right in front of you. One of my volunteers said it every week. She has a front row seat to the power of the gospel and just how these men and women are changing as they go through the classes, and as they begin to encourage one another and lift each other up.
Awesome, awesome. Do you guys work closely with Just Leadership? Are you familiar with them?
We have a lot of different partners. We are big on partnering with others, and I would say when it comes to reentry, we like to do a lot of referral and referring whatever specific need, and depends on which area they're going to be released to and what's available to them. We don't want to be all things to corrections and reentry is a huge need. And so there are some partners out there that are doing some incredible work. We do like to, if we do partner, we send them to celebrate recovery groups in churches, encourage them. But we find out which partners are in the area and like to refer them and what is the best fit. So yeah, to answer your question, I don't, that name doesn't sound familiar right at the top, but it doesn't mean we don't have a relationship with them.
Okay, Just Leadership is a very big advocacy organization. I just thought maybe you guys kind of, connected because I know you guys do some advocacy work too. Is that correct?
That's right.
Awesome.
Yes, we do. One of the things that I meant to tell you this is that on April the 11th, we are having Pastor John Kelly, who's a pastor in Chicago. He was formerly incarcerated for murder, and he is going to be sharing about second chances on Sunday, April the 11th. And we have 4 different viewing times. It'll be broadcast. So if anyone is interested, they could, I guess, maybe message you, and I could maybe work on getting the link to them. And if they're interested in watching that, it'll be about an hour long. And so it'll be a worship experience, but he's going to be giving that message about second chances.
Awesome. So that's going to be like a Zoom meeting. Is it going to be on Facebook?
It won't be Zoom. It will be, kind of like what this is. I can't recall which format, but I know that we have to send that link out. But yeah, there'll be 4 different viewing times for that broadcast.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So if you will send that to me, I would definitely like to attend that. I didn't get that email.
Okay.
I got all the
Okay.
other ones, but I didn't get that one.
All right. We have a lot of stuff going on, so yes, I'll make
Yeah.
sure that you get that information.
Awesome. So since you guys named April as Second Chance Month, what are some of the things that you guys are doing this month that to promote second chances?
Right. A big part of what we're doing is in the churches. Again, we believe, as believers, that we believe in second chances, and I think that's a really important place. And also when we have our returning citizens, when they get out, do return back into society, we really encourage them to find a good local church. And so that's a starting point is working with local churches, encouraging them to we have a free toolkit that they can download that has ideas of maybe sermon illustrations, sermon topics, and different things they can communicate. On our YouTube channel, we have tons of videos they can share on testimonies, about second chances. So that's where we begin. We also, some are doing prayer walks to create awareness, and some of them, of course, with COVID, they may even just be doing that over Zoom with some churches. And as you mentioned, we're having the gala. We're having April the 11th, the broadcast from Pastor John Kelly, and it's we're the biggest part, just getting out the word as much as possible. And we're also encouraging people to post on social media. We know that that's where most people spend their time anyways, and we have some great social media posts and encouraging people just that's simple. Anyone can do that, just to post on social media and just to create awareness about the needs that need to be changed, and that we hope people will be more sympathetic. Maybe someone who's an employer and someone who comes and applies, and let's say they just got out of prison, and we're hoping that they would give them a second chance, that they wouldn't look at them and immediately exclude them from taking the job, and that there's a lot of different ways that we can support and encourage those who are trying to make a new life.
Awesome. It sounds like you guys are doing some great things there. Where are you located again?
Columbia, South Carolina. Well, so I'm located in Columbia, South Carolina. Our base is in Lansdowne, Virginia. And most of us work remote because we don't stay in an office. We're out and about. We're inside the prisons. We're visiting different churches and traveling quite a bit. So most of us are scattered all across the U.S. who work for Prison Fellowship.
Yeah, yeah, you guys are a very big organization. I do know that. And you mentioned about, how COVID has basically disrupted the way that we're able to go into the prisons. And for us, we do the jails as well. Um, can you talk a little bit about what are your thoughts on, the vaccine being available to those who are currently incarcerated?
I, I think it's necessary, I think those men and women who are inside prisons are more vulnerable. Many of them because of their health, but also, they're confined. I've seen this personally in prisons that I've worked in, and it spreads like wildfire, because you imagine there's not a great way for them to social distance, and when someone, or even to quarantine those who are infected. So when it enters into the prisons, it just spreads like wildfire, even with the correctional officers and everyone. So I think that's wise, just for their health and safety, to for them to be vaccinated. And the way that Prison Fellowship, two different ways that we've adjusted, as we can't send our volunteers in, and I believe that in some states that may slowly just now be changing, maybe even this month as we speak. But we have been doing, some prisons have allowed us to do continue like with our academy classes remotely, just like you and I are here, and those who are watching. And so the inmates would still gather and social distance in a classroom format, and then we would, maybe via Zoom or another live streaming platform, and our volunteers would be home and going through the class. Now that hasn't happened in every prison, because there's a lot of security clearance, and they would have to have trust with, bringing internet into the facility, and not every prison, is set up that way. And also what we have is a platform called Floodlight that, inmates surprisingly do have. Many of them have tablets and have limited access to internet. And a Floodlight, we've been able to put all of our materials, and there's even encouraging sermon series and Christian movies, and many different choices. I mean, if you think about it, almost like a Netflix, but it's for the inmates, and it's specifically designed through us, that we control the content that's on there. So they're able to continue to still grow in their faith through that platform.
Awesome, awesome. Can I ask you, how hard was it to get tablets into the prisons? Did you guys help with that, or did the prisons already have that?
They already had them. And a lot of prisons are moving toward that, just for convenience, and they can use that to work on their other programming that they go through, and that they focus on. But yeah, that's all the DOC, Department of Correction, that gets the tablets. We don't provide them, at least not yet. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard of any move from Prison Fellowship actually providing the tablet itself, but we can provide the Floodlight material that they can access on their tablet.
Yeah, I know here in Mississippi, we have maybe 2 facilities that utilize the tablets, and we're trying to get our programming on those tablets. But I was just curious as to what was the insight on getting more facilities access to those tablets. I know, I'm pretty sure there's a process for that. And it's probably a lengthy process, but it's definitely a thought, a suggestion in getting those into, the prisons.
In my experience in having conversations with a lot of different Department of Corrections in different states, and I see a lot of them moving toward that, and it's actually a good thing. I think it's good because it can be very beneficial in helping them to gain more education. There's a lot of there's actually a lot of programs that the inmates can go through, and that's a good thing, because they can come out with a learned skill and go directly into employment. there's just they can graduate, get college degrees while they're in prison. So there's a lot of good things. I think it's a benefit if we truly want restorative correction. We want them to be better when they come out, and this is a great way to do it. And so I think you're going to see a more move toward getting those tablets, and they can control. They're not having access to everything like you and I would on our devices. So it is still very limited, but I think it's a very good, smart move.
I agree. I totally agree. I know myself and a couple of people are pushing to try to get tablets in all facilities here in Mississippi, um, for situations such as now, like, with COVID, we're not able to go in there and do our programming and stuff. But, if we have the tablets, we're still able to provide whatever services we need to provide. So, uh, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to be or we have a rocky road in front of us, just like a rocky road with some of our criminal justice reform bills that we just had, on the table this year, and some of them, mm, that's a whole nother story.
Right.
With prison fellowship, do you guys hire formerly incarcerated individuals?
Absolutely.
You do.
We'll just say yes. I would say I don't know the exact number, but probably I'm going to guess maybe around 30% of our employees have been formerly incarcerated. Just my team alone. One man used to be he was a former cartel in Mexico, and one of the top guys, and went to prison, and obviously is a completely changed life. One guy was on the FBI most wanted list. Another lady who actually came to Christ because of her child receiving Angel Tree Christmas, because of a church, a church loving on her child, and that's how she heard about prison fellowship, and how she heard, most importantly, about Christ, and that's what began her relationship with him. And so yes, we definitely hire. We absolutely believe in restorative justice and second chances, even with our organization.
Awesome, awesome. So if you were discussing with someone, what personally does a second chance mean to you?
Second chances means to me being forgiven for what you've done in the past, and offering hope. And I guess that would be second chances is that word of hope, because without a second chance, there's not one of us who've not messed up. Maybe some of us have been and done time, and some haven't. But we all have made mistakes. We've all failed. We've all fallen short, and we all need that those second chances, because without that, you have no hope. If all who you what identifies you is your past mistakes, your past failures, if you live in that, that'll destroy you, and there's no way to come back from that. So second chances is about hope, and knowing that you're capable of changing, and that people are willing to receive you, and to take a chance on you by giving you a second chance.
Yeah, you definitely, I totally agree with you when you said second chance is all about hope, because a lot of the individuals that are currently incarcerated, and those that are formerly incarcerated, um, they do lose their sense of hope,
Hmm.
especially when they get incarcerated, and it's like their family and their friends basically write them off and they forget about them, especially, and if they're gone for a long period of time. And here in Mississippi, we are notorious for giving out stringent time, for several different offenses. But again, I created this organization so that we could be that sense of hope for them, so that we can keep them connected with their families with items such as Angel Tree, or family reunification services, or whatever they're needing. So I'm a big supporter of second chances. You know, I received a second chance, so I'm in turn turning it around and giving other people second chances. So I'm excited about this month of April, about the things that we're getting ready to do, what you guys are getting ready to do, what other organizations and individuals and advocates are doing this month. I follow several individuals, and I'm excited to see what they come up with. Um, for this month as well. So I thank you for taking the time out to get on with me, so that we can discuss a little bit about Prison Fellowship, what Second Chance means to Prison Fellowship, and moving forward, how do you think we'll be able to provide more second chances?
It's got to be in getting that message out. I believe that there are many people that would be willing to give that second chance, but most don't understand the struggle of those who have done time when they come out, and the shackles that are still on them, and how difficult life can be, coming outside. And I think educating and creating a culture of forgiveness, creating a culture of giving grace, and is so important. It's important in the local church, and I think that bleeds out into our community. And so I think that is a big part of getting that message out there. And I think what we're doing in the justice area and helping to reform bills, so that making the sentencing more fair, and even some of these rules and laws are on the books when they get out, making sure that it's actually a restorative justice, and I think that's so important, because a lot of some of the laws are not restoring, they're just tearing down, and I think that those things need to be changed. So those aspects together are going to be huge, getting the word out in the community, in our local churches, and changing the laws to be more restorative justice.
I totally agree. I totally agree. We have some criminal justice reform bills, as I stated earlier, that were introduced. Some of them helped, some of them did not help. Some of them moved forward, some of them did not. So we're hoping next year that we'll be able to have some that will actually help reduce our mass incarceration rate here in the state of Mississippi. All right, so we are going to wrap up, and I thank you again, Mr. Greg, for getting on with me, and I thank you for those that tuned in with us for this special live kickoff event with Prison Fellowship. Craig Fuller, continue to stay connected with us. We have several other things that are going on. Definitely come back and watch with us on Saturday. We will be having a night of poetry. It'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mr. Velez, I don't know his real name, but I will get it to y'all. Don't blame it on my head. Blame it on my head. Don't blame it on my heart. If he's watching, especially. But he's a very great poet, very well known. So I'm looking forward to hearing them. Anybody knows me know that I am a sucker for poetry. So I'm looking forward to hearing what he has up his sleeve regarding second chances. So if there's anything that you guys need from us, anything that you want to discuss, please reach out to us, inbox me if you would like to, call us, tweet us, whatever you would like. Follow all of our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Also do the same for Prison Fellowship, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Are you guys on LinkedIn as well? Pretty sure you are.
Yes, we are.
And on LinkedIn as well. Until next time, guys, peace and blessings.
Thank you.